A parasitic extraterrestrial entity, a hive mind organism that invades a planet by infecting hosts, absorbing their bodies and memories, and assimilating them into a collective consciousness. And it started making its way through the humans of our planet, all because Michael Rooker got blue-balled by Elizabeth Banks and decided to drink at a bar right near the woods where this alien parasite landed via meteorite. And it started infecting and assimilating its way to everything, with the goal to consume all, to be all. We've discussed a lot of assimilation level aliens on this channel. The Thing, the Tyranids, the goddamn necromorphs. But for some odd reason, none disgust me. None get to me existentially like this alien does. I'll be very honest here. I don't want to be talking about this film, because there are ultimately two movies that really nuked my mind and traumatized me as a child. One, when I was in a basement, home alone, I think it was at night, I put on a movie called Pan's Labyrinth. Big mistake. If you know, you know. That movie fucked my mind into an abyss. Anything from insect-like creatures to nasty toads to whatever the hell that thing is. What is that? Fuck that. Hell no, I ain't going back there. And then there's this movie. I don't like wet, pale, disgusting creatures that morph and mutate. I don't like anything that's insect-like, creepy crawly. I don't like any of that shit. So you can imagine the existential dread I faced watching this movie as a kid. Seeing this alien being using slugs that crawl their way while chicks are in bathtubs and force their way down the chicks' mouths to infect them and assimilate them all. You can imagine my surprise at watching the movie Slither. Now yes, this is a James Gunn movie, so there's a lot of comedy horror in this. A lot of comedy. This is not that serious a movie at all in the grand scheme, but when I was watching this as a kid, it didn't make a fucking difference to me, okay? It all comes down to one scene. The scene. The scene of all scenes. What is the being known as the Long One? This parasitic alien? Well, it's hard to dictate what its origin really is, because this is not just a parasite, it's a living archive of every species it's absorbed. We don't know what the first one was. We don't know where the chain really started. Each new world adds to its knowledge. This could have been a bioweapon gone wrong, who knows? Its knowledge and intelligence and strategy compound, making it more cunning with every infection. Over time it evolves primitive telepathy to lure prey and emotional mimicry to manipulate hosts. It's ancient. It arrived here via meteorite, and it's implied to be way, way older than any of us, possibly older than our goddamn world. Possibly an immortal being that has wiped out entire civilizations across the galaxy. Its first form could be slugs, slug-like parasites that enter through the mouth or stomach. But Grant, Michael Rooker is its primary host. You see, Michael Rooker is horny in this movie. He wants to bang Elizabeth Banks, she doesn't let him, so he goes out drinking at night, and one girl wants to really get together with him, but he's trying to deny it, but he's at a force, and he gets infected by this being, and it makes him its alpha, the center of its mass. Now he is used as the alpha, the central figure of the hive, that can communicate and control the hive mind. The hive mind's ultimate goal may be to consume enough varied biomass to evolve into a planet-sized intelligence, like Brethren Moon from Dead Space on steroids. A biological god form that feeds across dimensions. We're talking Lovecraftian shit, y'all. Look at the powers and abilities. Hive mind control. All these assimilation aliens love hive mind control, okay? All infected hosts share a mental connection with the primary host, acting in unison. The alpha controls it all. Victims' personalities and memories remain buried in the hive and can surface occasionally. So it literally absorbs its victim's consciousness. Rapid mutation and growth. The parasite can mutate flesh into grotesque forms, tentacles, tumors, and blob-like entities. We've seen this with the Thing. We've seen this. Every single assimilation alien loves this. The Flood from Halo as well. Near immortality. Unless the alpha is destroyed, this organism will continue to grow and spread unchecked. Brenda. This is the scene, y'all. See, Brenda gets infected. Okay, she gets infected by one of these slugs, and she starts to get bloated. She starts to start eating a lot. Her stomach starts growing profusely, and she is contained in a barn. And her entire body swells to the size of the goddamn room around her. She is... Fat doesn't describe what she becomes, okay? Her skin is stretched to the absolute limit, and she starts saying, "Oh, I'm so hungry." She starts begging for food. Sure, she's veiny, translucent. She looks disgusting. She's begging for food, all while growing even larger. Eventually, and when I saw this as a kid, Oh, I wanted to off myself. When her body literally bursts. It explodes in a massive explosion of blood, guts, and alien slugs who scatter and try to infect more hosts. No! I don't like it. I don't want this. I don't want this movie to exist. As a kid, I never wanted to watch a single movie involving an alien or horror ever again after seeing this shit. Now, it does have weaknesses. The centralized control. You kill the alpha host, like they do in this movie, the rest of the hive dies, making the parasite vulnerable to decapitation of its hierarchy. That's a very, very noticeable weakness it has. Overconfidence. The creature has ego and reliance on past knowledge that it has, right? So many victories over weaker species, it believes it's a literal god. Slither is like a love letter to Cronenbergian body horror, essentially, emphasizing how personal identity can be consumed by a greater, mindless organism. An allegory for parasitic relationships, conformity, consumerism, all that jumbled with James Gunn's comedy. Where does this being rank in power among the movie assimilation threats we've seen? Y'all know my standard for this. It's, when it comes to aliens, it's The Thing or Calvin. These are the OP aliens of film, in my opinion. Yes, you have other beings that you can mention that are dimensional. You have beings like Arrival. You have all these creatures, right? And you have a dozen fucking aliens from the video games, right? If we were talking Necromorph in the Flood, this thing doesn't stand a chance. But where does it rank with these beings, okay? Now, luckily for me, who would win in a fight? Luckily for me, on this channel, I've gone through so many aliens. I watched so many alien movies. I consider myself a connoisseur of alien movies at this point, okay? If I don't say so myself. I am used to such overpowered beings that would nuke our entire race that this creature doesn't scare me like it once did, because I realize how weak this being is. It has a very, very, very specific way to infect, and it has a very, very specific weakness that any of these beings I'm about to mention can capitalize on. If you kill the alpha, you kill it. You destroy the hive. Okay? So, first things first. I need to stop this video to tell you right now. You need to like the video, otherwise Hollywood will molest me. I have a mission to take over Hollywood completely so we can save storytelling and cinematic visions forever. Hollywood doesn't want me to do this. They might take me hostage one of these days, so I can't do this war alone. I need you to like and subscribe. Blow this video into the ether. Join my army. When you're going up against beings like The Thing that can assimilate you on touch, or Calvin, this all-consuming being who just consumes and consumes and consumes and grows stronger and is incredibly high IQ and is unicellular. This creature Slither cannot infect any of them. Think about it. Can it infect Calvin? No, Calvin doesn't have a typical brain that it can hijack. It doesn't have a consciousness of that. It is unicellular. It would be fundamentally incompatible with Slither, the alien, the long one. There is no central nervous system, there's no mind to take over, and Calvin's way too physically aggressive. It'll fuck up the slugs that try to get at it. It'll fuck up the Slither alien and rip it to bits. Its metabolism is also very fast. If it consumes their slugs faster than they can try to infect it, it's over. It's over. The Thing will just mimic the slug, and the slug won't even know it. It'll mimic this creature, won't even know it, and that's really, really bad because the long one's hive mind is very, very, very vulnerable. If anyone gets assimilated within the hive mind, the entire consciousness is at risk. The entire hive is at risk. The Thing could potentially learn this structure and break it down, mimic it very, very easily. Now, yes, this creature with sheer numbers might be able to overwhelm Calvin and The Thing, but it's very, very unlikely that it'll even get to that point if they know what they're dealing with. If Calvin just tries to consume all of them at once, yeah, maybe they could fuck it up by ganging up on it, but Calvin's not going to do that. Calvin waits and stalks his prey, and The Thing is smart. It'll try to do a mimicry game with you. It'll do some psyop shit. Stealth. The Slither alien won't know what the fuck it's up against. The Thing's perfect memory and subtle infiltration gives it the edge. Calvin rips this thing apart. Unless it's surrounded by numbers, Calvin and The Thing are more likely to recognize each other as threats and might briefly ignore Slither in a three-way fight and fight each other, and then maybe Slither will have the upper hand while watching these two kill each other, you know? But imagine if The Thing assimilates Calvin, Slither can do fuck all. Slither can do nothing. If The Thing assimilates a being like Calvin with Calvin's strength, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. The Thing has the best shot since it can assimilate both organic threats using stealth and surviving basically in pieces. That's essentially what will go down, y'all. That's essentially what will go down. Now, I've made a video describing who would win between The Thing and the Calvin, okay? You can watch it over here. I've also made a video how all these beings, all these aliens, are fundamentally, in many ways, part of a very similar hierarchy from video games. The being known as the Flood. and how that alien may or may not be connected to all of these beings in some way, in some form or fashion. If you want to know why, you can watch that video over here.